There is a voice in your head, and it rarely stops talking. It greets you before you are fully awake, telling you what kind of day you are about to have and how you ought to feel about it. It replays yesterday, rehearses tomorrow, and quietly judges almost everything you do. It feels constant, relentless, and if you are honest, exhausting. And here's the thing that almost no one tells you. That voice is not you. We have been taught that our thoughts are sacred, that they are the truest part of who we are. Change your thoughts, the books all say, and you will change your life. But what if the real trouble is not which thoughts you think? What if it is that you are talking to yourself at all? This endless conversation with yourself is not a wise guide. It is a cage built not of iron, but of words, and its bars are judgment, fear, complaint, and comparison. Imagine a still lake at dawn, so calm that it holds the entire sky upon its surface. Then a single pebble falls, and the ripples scatter the reflection until the sky is gone. Your mind becomes a cup already overfull, too crowded with its own chatter to hold anything new. Not peace, not clarity, not joy. Eckhart Tolle called the weight we carry the pain body, a shadow self fed by every worry we rehearse and every judgment we repeat. Over time, it begins to feel like you, so real that you mistake it for who you truly are. But let me ask you something. If you are truly one with this voice, then who is it that hears it? In the space between the words, something is quietly listening, a still, observing presence, deeper than thought and steadier than any noise. That presence is the real you. Every tradition has pointed toward it. The Hindus called it Atman, the changeless self beneath all change. The mystics called it the still, small voice beneath the noise. The Taoists called it the Tao, the way that moves without effort. The mind resists all of this because it loves its own noise. It longs to name, to measure, to control. And so it swings endlessly between the past and the future and almost never rests in the present. You sit in traffic, and the voice spins a whole story about disrespect and unfairness and wasted time. You glance at a bright screen, and it quietly measures your life against everyone else's. But it was never the traffic, and never the screen. It was always the thought about them. So here is the quiet secret. The moment you stop talking to yourself, even for a single breath, something begins to shift. You step out of the cage into a wide and open field of awareness. This is not about forcing the mind to fall silent. Fighting the voice only makes it louder. It is about noticing the voice without climbing inside it, listening to the lake instead of throwing in another stone. So watch your thoughts the way you would watch a film. The scenes rise and fall, but you are the one seated in the dark, not the story on the screen. Let the voice murmur on like a radio in another room. You can hear it, and still let it soften into the background. Picture a glass of muddy water. Shake it, and it stays clouded. Set it down, leave it alone, and the mud settles on its own until the water turns clear. Do you have the patience to wait till your mud settles and the water is clear? Your mind clears in the very same way, not by struggle, but by stillness. The lotus rises out of the mud, yet its petals open untouched by it. You are like that, whole beneath the noise, however murky it may seem. At first, the quiet may feel like emptiness. The voice has been your companion so long that its silence feels strange. But the stillness is not empty at all. The Taoists said, we shape the clay to form a pot, yet it is the hollow inside that makes it useful. The emptiness is what lets life pour in. So the silence you were afraid of turns out to be full. Full of peace, full of presence, full of a life you had stopped noticing. And underneath every anxious story, something has been waiting to be heard. Not the voice, but the quiet knowing that you are already enough. Each of you is perfect the way you are, and you can use a little improvement. The shift is not one moment you arrive at once and keep forever. The voice will return, as insistent as ever. But now you know its secret. You can follow the voice, or you can return to the stillness that was always beneath it. And each time you choose the stillness, the cracked reflection the voice kept showing you falls away, and the calm, unshaken presence behind it remains. You are not the noise. You are the silence in which it rises and into which it dissolves. And when you finally stop talking to yourself, the shift happens and life becomes a still mirror, giving back the peace that was there all along. If these words met you kindly, and you would like to keep returning to this quiet, you are warmly invited to subscribe. Rest here a moment longer. The silence was never empty.